a seemingly complicated thing to do very uncomplicated. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you for that comment. I'm sure Anthony's phone's going to ring a lot more now.
Sorry.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. We now know who's the go-to man in Batavia. Clerk, call the roll on the vote.
Wolf.
Aye.
Solfa.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Lehman. Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Connolly.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
14 yes, no, none absent.
Motion's approved.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing the improvement.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. All right, moving to 13 then, approval of waiver of formal bidding for services to install HDPE conduit in the area of Pine Street and Woodland Hills Drive. Who's got this one?
Should be.
I can take it.
That's right. Keenan presented.
Alderman Miller?
So, if I remember correctly here, several weeks ago, we ended up having several power outages within like a 2-hour span. What happened was we had some faulty wires that shorted out. Those wires are at the end of their life cycle, so it's time to replace them, but City Electric was able to get in and temporarily fix those, but now we're going to need to bore some new conduits in. The old ones were put in, they have a moisture problem, but now we do pipes so that we can pull cables in and replace them as need be after they end their life cycle. So this is to replace those so that we do not have any more outages on that east side.
Thank you for that. Somebody care to make the motion?
Oh, I guess I make a motion to
Waive
approve-
formal bidding?
Yeah, waive formal bidding. Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Alderman Miller, second by Alderman Sofa for the approval to waive formal bidding for services to install HDPE conduit in the area of Pine Street and Woodland Hills Road. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Connolly.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Solfa.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
14 yes, no, none absent.
Motion's approved. All right, then, moving to 14, which is Resolution 22-102-R, approving an emergency contract with Ray's Electrical and Boring Services to install the HDPE conduit in the area of Pine Street and Woodland Hills Road for an amount not to exceed $129,984, which includes a 10% contingency. Who's got the motion? Who wants to make that motion?
Keenan,
I'm sorry, what?
you want to make a motion on that
To put the conduit in.
conduit?
Know what I just
Contract.
did? Oh, this is for the resolution. My bad.
And we
Yes,
just
I'd like to
waived
make
the
a
bidding,
motion
now we
to,
have to do it.
yes, I make a motion to approve emergency conduit with Ray's Electric and Boring Services to install HDPE conduit in the area of Pine Street and Woodland Hills Drive for the amount not to exceed $129,984, which includes a 10% contingency.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Miller, second by Alderman Sofa for the approval of Resolution 22-102-R, approving the emergency contract with Ray's Electrical and Boring Services to install the HTP conduit in the area of Pine Street and Woodland Hills Road for an amount not to exceed $129,984, which includes a 10% contingency. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Connolly.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Solfa.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
14 yes, no, none absent.
All right, motion is approved. Moving to item 15, which is the administrator's report. Laura?
Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I'd like to do is a better job with your chamber upcoming events update. I didn't have the list in front of me before when I came up, but Mayor and I had the opportunity to meet with an incoming business, Everdean's Grilled Cheese, who were really excited, are going to be opening up their second location here. Their first location is in Naperville, And it was with pride that we told them about our Chamber of Commerce organization, how many members they have, what a strong organization it is, and what worthwhile programming that they have for businesses of all types in our community. So the Chamber's upcoming events are on Wednesday, October 5th at 8 a.m., the Not-for-Profit Forum. And that is in person at Little Brothers Friends of the Elderly Audrey's House in Batavia. And Monday, October 10th at 11:15 a.m., Chamber Connectors Business Mastermind at Limestone Coffee. Tuesday, October 11th at 11:30 a.m. is the Batavia Women in Business Women and Leadership Luncheon at Orchard Valley Golf Course. Wednesday, October 12th at 8 a.m. is Coffee and Commerce at Douglas Carpet 1, 490 North Randall Road, Batavia, open morning networking. Wednesday, October 12th at 5 p.m. is a ribbon cutting ceremony at Start Something Studio, 12 North Van Buren Street, Batavia. Thursday, October 13th at 4 p.m. is a ribbon cutting ceremony at Catalpa Manor, 10 East Wilson Street, Suite 2. Monday, October 17th at 3 p.m. is a ribbon cutting ceremony for Edward Jones Financial Advisors at 2631 Williamsburg Avenue, Suite 302 in Geneva. Wednesday, October 26th at 11:30 a.m. Fall into Business Multi-Chamber Progressive Luncheon at Villa Olivia Bartlett. Wednesday, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. meet the new Chamber Board and Board reunion networking at Rookie's Pub and Grill, sponsored by Metronet, spotlighting Tri-City Health Partnership. And Thursday, October 27th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Is a volunteer opportunity at Northern Illinois Food Bank. It's the Chamber Service Night. Please email Margaret at bataviachamber.org to sign up. And last but certainly not least, on November 3rd at 7:30 a.m. is the annual Mayor's Breakfast. Different venue for this event this year. It will be at the Homestead. See bataviachamber.org, bataviachamber.org for more details. So I hope that some of those events you'll be able to participate in. Also, now is the time of year when we start talking about the brush and leaf collection. All those leaves are turning beautiful colors out there, but it won't be very long before they're all falling on our lawns. And so we do have 4 leaf collections this year, beginning October 17th on the east side, switching over to the west side on October 24th, coming back to the east side on October 31st, and then over back to the west side on November 7th. And then on November 28th, we have our final citywide brush collection. With regard to the leaves, it's important that you don't rake your leaves into the street because they can clog the storm sewers. And anyway, with all of the leaves blowing around, it would be really important for everyone, locate the storm sewer that's nearest to your driveway and just make sure that it isn't clogged with leaves, because that can really help to prevent unnecessary flooding. I wanted to let City Council know that the interview process for the Deputy Chief for the Fire Department has been concluded, and that the 2 top candidates we will be making offers to. So we hope to be able to announce the acceptance of those offers soon and introduce you to the 2 new Deputy Chiefs at an upcoming meeting. And that's all that I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Anybody have any questions to Laura? Before you come down, I was contacted by Kane County Board Chairman Pirog on Friday, and she has asked that Laura and myself and the police chief and the fire chief come to the next Kane County Board meeting, because they're going to pass something or some proclamation or something in which they want to publicly express their thanks to the city of Batavia for our support in allowing for the Sam's Club to be opened up as the COVID shot location, and all the support which the police and fire department gave to that movement to get people in and out. And we had a few people get faint out there, and we had to call for ambulances. So there was quite a bit of connection to us all. And then they just want to officially thank us because, as you may know, the city volunteered through myself to provide provide the electricity to run that facility while it was being used for the shots. And I think we're going to be able to recapture all that through a federal, I kind of said that knowing that that would be the case, because I had seen a list of things that they were going to make eligible to be reimbursed, and that was certainly one of them. So I don't think it really, at the end of the day, cost our utility anything, but the county didn't have to pay for it, so they were appreciative that that was done in that manner. So just so you're kind of on the end as to know what's going on here, that's going, if anybody wants to come up on the 11th at 9:45 in the morning at the County Government Center in Geneva, you can be there too, but I just wanted everybody to know what was going on with that.
And also, as part of that collaboration, the county was also generous enough to allow the toy drive to utilize the space that they were renting from the owners of that building for the last 2 years for the toy drive. And they've just committed again this year that they'll allow us to use that space for the toy drive. So very generous of both the county and the owners of that building. We're grateful.
Very good. Thank you. Do we have other business from the city council tonight? Alderman Burr?
Yeah, we had talked about it a couple weeks ago about gaming again, but I don't know if anything officially was said. So if somebody would join me, I would like to request that we get a discussion of video gaming in Batavia on a committee of the whole agenda.
Yeah,
Happy to join you.
Thank you.
You were kind of quiet in your voice. You wanted to get the update on the gaming ordinance? Is that what you said?
Yeah, to have a discussion at the
Okay.
committee of the whole meeting for it. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have one, Your Honor.
Alderman Wolf?
As you can see from a nice bright red shirt that I have on, a shirt that Geneva doesn't have, probably won't have for a while, a state championship shirt, one of the two that we have. Just want to reiterate and let everybody know that, again, this is Geneva Week, or for all of us that are from Batavia, it's Beat Geneva Week. This will be the 104th meeting between the two teams, and if you want to check on, is it on the website at the library, George, your history?
It's at BataviaHistory.org.
Okay. There's just a phenomenal history of all the games that were played, not played, and, some of them are very interesting when you go back and look at the runs between the two schools, how many years Batavia went without a win against Geneva and how many years Geneva went without a win. We're actually riding a really good ride right now. They haven't scored on us in 5 years. So this will be a very interesting game because they are two completely different teams from the last probably decade. So this should be a really good game Friday night. Anybody that wants to go out there, please get there early because I bet you there's going to be 5,000 people out there. It's going to be packed. I guarantee this will be a great game Friday night.
Did George say that was BataviaHistory.org?
Yes, BataviaHistory.org. And it's a good read. It's really cool if you like historical facts. That's really good.
Pardon, George?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, you can just send it to the whole council, and then we can all look at it.
I can send the link if you want.
Okay.
And that's at 7:00 on Friday night out at Bulldog Stadium. Come check out the new lights, the new seats.
As Alderman Wolf has just indicated, he obviously has a more than a passing interest in what's happening out there. And let me just say that as the mayor who wanders around town with some regularity, Alderman Wolf and his partner on broadcasting the games, Mr. Lundberg, the two of them have their own fan club in Batavia. And I mean, seriously, they got some folks that are ready to call aldermen or school board members when they don't think the game's going to get broadcast, and we went through that last year. But they do a phenomenal job, and everybody over at McDonald's on Saturday morning, you go in there and they say, that Batavia announcing team is like something you'd expect to see on NBC on Sunday afternoon announcing a pro game, because those guys got it down to a T, and they give more facts, figures, and incidental information than the folks on the major TV shows give. So I just want to publicly commend Mr. Wolf and Mr. Lundberg for really putting together now a legendary trio or duo there that you're gonna have a hard time retiring ever, because the Batavia fans are
Yeah.
gonna want you to truly be the voice of the Batavia
I
Bulldogs.
got a new press box out up there for us, so I don't think we're going anywhere soon.
Well, that's good. I'm just saying that you really,
Yeah, it's,
I mean, and your part of it really is quite an interesting spin on the Batavia program, and
it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And we were thinking about that last week, and I think it's about 300 football games we've done now. So it's getting up there.
and basketball's gonna be this year too, right?
Yeah, we will be doing select basketball games, so I'll make sure that we announce that and that gets out to the public on the ones we're gonna do. It'll be some of the away games and then conference games.
Okay, good. All right, do we have any other business? Okay, you're just going to the mayor's report, and since he's sitting in the audience, I just want to publicly express first of all, my thanks to George Sheets for as many years that he's really brought the Batavia Library to a new realm of excellence and sharing, and something that I can go around the region and brag about, because it really is an extraordinary library. As most of you probably have heard, George has announced that he's leaving next year. Do we know a date next year?
Not specifically, but next summer.
Next summer, he's retiring. And so he's going to be one of those hard acts to follow. And I would assume that maybe when it gets near and we know the date, we'll probably want to have you back down here and give you some kind of a proclamation or some type of public expression of thanks on behalf of the community, because truly what you've done with that library, and as I've shared with George on a couple of occasions, when I was a small child, my family was good friends with Miriam Johnson, who was for many, many decades the librarian at the Batavia Library. And so there was a number of occasions when I was at private dinner parties and everything else with Miriam and her husband, and Miriam would get going about how there were so many deficiencies at the old Batavia Library over at the corner of kitty corner from where it now is in the old Newton House, and how she just had this dream that someday there would be a brand-new library program that would really be everything she could dreamed of. Now, unfortunately, she died, I believe, before George got here. But I would just make the statement as one who kind of knew her personally, that were she alive today and could see what George has accomplished there, she would have a smile on her face just from ear to ear, because it was everything that she always wanted. And she even once predicted that the day would come when books would start to disappear off the shelves of the library, and the technology world would replace the book in some other form or fashion. And I think we've lived to see that, and George has been the one who's kind of escorted it into town and made it so that even some of us old folks will go in there and buy into it once we understand what button to push and how it works, because that is probably the wave of the future. But George, again, our thanks for really doing a terrific job. So did you just hang around to just listen to what we're saying, or did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, I just decided to stay to the end of the meeting.
Okay, well, thank you. All right,
Thank you for the kind words.
okay. On a more city-related, city business-related situation, I just want to let the council know that Laura Newman and I have had several conversations over the last few weeks, and because of the intelligence and information that's been shared with us by our new police chief about the vandalism and the issues that have been taking place in downtown Batavia, and we've got several different things going on, that in the coming budget that you're all going to get here pretty quick, Laura has included that Batavia is going to go back in the downtown camera monitoring business. And we're going to propose that we mount some cameras at strategic locations in downtown Batavia. So if we have somebody wanting to come in and spray paint the front of a building or put, some art out there, and we've had that happen, unfortunately, in a couple of the now historic buildings in downtown Batavia, and it's very troubling to us. And I think, I'm sure that people will ask, well, where are they going to put these cameras? Well, I'll tell you, I think they're probably going to be on East and West Wilson Street and on probably Batavia Avenue from someplace from, say, Houston down to about Main Street. And we're going to try to these will be the kind that you turn them on and they just stay on, and every 24 hours, if nothing's happened, they just tape over themselves so that you just, but if something happens, the police can go up there right away and, or not, I don't think you even have to go to it. I think you can pull it right off the screen of what we got. So we think it's going to be hopefully a deterrent, or at least scare some of these people who get brazen and want to come in and start spray painting and graffitiing and everything else. And we've had some graffiti this week that was really almost tragic, in my opinion, for what they did and where they shot it. And so if you go down to River and Wilson, you can see it. It's very evident on the front of one of the buildings. I think it just speaks to the call out there that we really need to have the ability for the police department to strengthenly monitor this whole situation. And we did have cameras for a number of years, and then they kind of got old, and for whatever reasons, we thought we were never going to have any more problems. Well, guess what? We're back with problems. So we're putting it in the budget. If you guys want to take it out, we'll have a fight about it. But I just think that it's something that we need to do in Batavia. So just to put you on notice, give you something to think about, and let the word out that we're going to do it, and we'll kind of go from there. The other thing I just wanted to share, we've got a federal grant that Congresswoman Underwood has submitted to help Batavia buy a building to house our interfaith food pantry and clothes closet, and hopefully the Batavia Access Toy Drive. And was this $3 million? Yeah. She's put it in this federal program, and now she tells us that we have to wait till after November the 8th, which is the election day, and see who's in control of Congress, and if the right people are, we shouldn't have any problem getting our money. If the wrong people, not the wrong, but another group is in charge, we may not get the money as easy as we do. I want to just say that we seriously do need this money for this use. This past week, I was involved in another situation, which I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about it, but we had a older Batavia family donate a whole bunch of clothes that was in a house that hadn't been used for a long, long time, and so the Interfaith Food Pantry Executive Director, Eileen Mazzaro, went with me up there, and we loaded the van up with all this stuff and brought it back to the food pantry and clothes closet, because they're both there together down here on South Shumway Avenue. And by the time we got it all in there was so much stuff in there that you couldn't hardly even walk in that place, because there's no storage, and some of the stuff has to be kind of looked at and maybe some thrown away, but this was some pretty good stuff that we were able to bring in. And so now I've been told by some other folks that they'd like to donate piles of nice clothing to go there. And then, of course, the other thing that they do there is they provide food to a lot of different folks. And we've got, it's a steady stream in there. And so it's a good thing. I mean, it's basically supported by the churches in town to some degree. And we've got, a lot of people making donations out of their heart, goodness of their hearts and whatever. But keep your fingers crossed that we get this $3 million grant, because if we do, I'm not going to tell you. If you want to know, come and talk to me and I'll tell you, but I don't want to say publicly here the buildings. We got a couple we're trying to negotiate with, so I don't want to put one against the other or any of that kind of stuff. We'll try to get the best building that we can, but we think that we are going to try to do that. And so it's something that really, again, speaks to the heart and soul of Batavia as to what the town's really all about. And there's so many things that have happened here recently, whether it's been the success of the high school sports program, or some of the good things that have happened in Batavia schools, or just some of the nice things that have been able to occur with the city, that we really should hold our heads pretty high, that we run a pretty good city here, and a lot of people are served that are in need of service, and, we kind of know who should and who shouldn't get it, and I think we're doing a pretty nice job here, so I'm very proud of what we have going. So I guess I've talked too much. I'll call for item 18, which is adjournment. Somebody care to make that motion?
I would make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman Sofa. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Meeting's over.
Aye.